We're ready to go. We've got a lot to talk about. We've got a lot to catch up on. We've got Bear Guide with us. We've got
Skittles.
Yeah, Skittles.
AKA Bear Guide.
We're not going to talk about the bear hunt, but
we're not.
We can mention it.
We can mention the bear hunt. We can
tease it a
talk
little bit.
about it in context. Like we've been teasing this thing for like a month. Like it's
Literally how long we've been.
literally
I know. I
trying
like building
to,
the anticipation. It makes it
yeah,
better.
we haven't released any photos. We have like it's just like people know we were in Alaska. Trevor, Logan, myself, Bear Guide, aka Skittles, aka what's your name again? Cole Kramer. Yeah, Cole Kramer. Hey, good to have you back on the show, Cole.
Hey, great to be back, guys.
We haven't been together for like 15 minutes, so that's good.
I missed your smell in the tent each morning. You know, I'd roll over, you'd be there grinding coffee, just looking at me.
How lucky are we, right? How lucky are we?
So the Skittles, Cole is a crazy person, obviously, because he guides bear hunts for a living.
Yeah.
But it's a really interesting surprise when you're going through and you're very prominent on the snack situation in camp. It is hyper important.
Be thankful.
Sometimes he likes to throw a little wild card in there, and sometimes you think you're getting an M&M, and guess what? It's a Skittle.
Yeah.
I like to have soft components in my trail mix, but then I throw in a few hard ones.
Yeah.
And then that way it kind of keeps you on your
Super hard.
toes. And I want to see how delicate your teeth are.
Yeah.
Which is probably, Evan just couldn't get out of that rhythm, and that's why he has chipped tooth again.
Yeah, that's what happened.
No,
Again?
I'll tell you the exact story, which was I was drinking out of a jar because that's what I like to drink out of now, big mason jars, based on a Rogan podcast that he talked about plastics and kind of the long-term side effects of plastics.
Too.
So I've been drinking out of jars, excluding this cup, obviously. And my youngest daughter, who has also inflicted more injuries on me than I ever received in Iraq or Afghanistan, that
She's
I'm
a fighter.
terrified of.
She's a fighter.
She jumped off a bed a couple years ago onto my neck as I was wrestling the other one. Not intentionally, obviously. She was 2 years old. So I'm like wrestling with the kids, and she jumped off and like straight knee, full 20 pounds, straight on the relaxed neck. I have not been able to sleep right ever since. I have headaches every now and again that just start in the middle of the day for no apparent reason. It's great. And then a few days ago, she decided to like come up, and I thought she was going to hug me as I was
Love on
drinking.
Yeah.
And she hit the bottom of the jar, and it felt like she knocked my front teeth out. And so
She's working on it.
She's
chipping
trying,
away at
and
it,
then she
actually.
started laughing
She's chipping away at
hysterically.
it.
Dad.
She
Got
started
her.
laughing hysterically, by the way. She thought it was like the funniest shit ever.
Yeah, but you would do the same thing.
Not to my children.
No,
you would laugh at the
Obviously
same
not to your
scenario.
children. If you were
You would laugh.
I could see you doing that to
You
Ed.
would laugh too.
I wouldn't do it to anybody. Like I would do it to you, of course, or Cole, or most of
saying.
the people that I spend time with, but not somebody that I care about.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's
That's
perfect.
a joke. That's a joke.
Okay.
It's not
No, but yeah, so, and then I bit into some chicken, and it just fucking came apart because it's the same tooth that I've continued to have fucking
Felt
problems
crunchy.
with. So I'm going to have to get that one replaced, I think.
Just get it knocked out. Go full hockey mode.
Well, you know what I want to do? I want to so bad. I just want to do gold.
Just a
Like
gold.
just straight up
tooth.
fucking gold.
I think that's a power play. That's
And
a total power move.
I do want to do it. And unfortunately, people are they're consumed with this idea of the CEO has to be professional. I'm like,
Mhm.
you guys, if I have proven anything,
You're wearing sweatpants shorts right now.
that's right. I am.
So I don't see why the gold tooth is a big deal.
They're luxurious, by the way.
Yeah.
I at least want to rock it for a while, right? A
Coffee
straight
bean
up
diamond
gold tooth.
right here.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
Like
if you
just
want,
gold.
you could
Let's
get
just-
one that's
let's just try it
platinum and
out
just
for
be
a little while.
professional.
I'm okay
I
with
want
it.
to. Are you
Yeah.
okay with it if I
Yes,
do it?
I am. Absolutely.
Okay.
People
Yeah.
will pay more attention to you talking in the meetings for sure because
That's
they'll see that
true.
little flash and they just want to
They'll
get
be
a
like,
little better
"Are
look at
you?
it.
Do you have a gold tooth now?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yeah, I have a gold tooth.
It's
It's
a talking point. It's great.
it's my new look. It's what
you
I
could
do."
really crush them and just say, "No, I've always had it."
Yeah,
have
I've always
you
had
not
it.
noticed this?
Yeah, you guys haven't
You haven't
noticed
been paying
this.
attention.
So the first thing I want to ask you guys, outside of Skittles, is why did you let a Navy officer beat you in a fucking shooting competition when that was the only thing I asked you? It didn't matter if you won. It didn't matter what place you took. It was only about Jack Carr and whether or not you were going to let an officer take you to the fucking cleaners. And you did. So unpack for me how you guys missed so badly that you let an officer stuff you like a fucking turkey in the middle of Wyoming. Tell me.
Hey, if it's going to be anybody, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
it doesn't matter. I don't.
Okay,
Jack Carr is one of the best human beings alive.
marksman.
He is a fucking O, and he needs to go down to be put into his place.
here's the deal.
We all know this. They have to be put into their place because you know what? If they had their ability, which they did, they'll put you in your place.
And it was him and
I'm gonna agree with
Shevchenko.
you there, boss. It's just there's no excuses.
No.
I wanted him to be in a good mood to write good novels or whatever
So,
he writes. Right?
You
And
needed to make a tragedy.
Cole sabotaged
him
us.
to
Is
put
that what's
him-
going on
We
here?
needed
You
a
sabotaged
Shakespearean
us.
tragedy to inflict on Jack Carr because there's just too much goodness that he's doing right now.
Yeah.
You know,
I
knock
wanted him
down.
like in
He's
a
on top of the
really
world.
good mood to
Yeah.
write. So
It's-
that's why we let him win. That's it. It's pretty much.
Regardless of demeanor, in competition, the O is your enemy. They must suffer the
I think we
consequences of
individually
their
beat him.
rank.
You know, our RSO was a former officer as well. So
From the
Okay.
You know,
Marine
that
Corps.
could have been the
knows?
reason why too. He
Yeah.
wanted the other officer to win, and so he was
that's-
I didn't
putting
even
us
think
down.
what I
about
mean.
that.
Right?
They must have been
Mm.
talking behind.
Yeah.
there's 2 points.
They were over
2
there
points.
eating cake, and you fucking guys were like down in the squalor, eating Skittles and trail
Skittles and
mix.
Doritos.
Yeah, they had a officer's dessert table. Actually,
I
They
have-
did.
yeah.
ridiculous.
Cole was watching it. They wouldn't let him have any.
So tell me about this SIG event because it looked cool. I've only seen kind of the post pictures that you guys have been posting about it. It did look really, really fun. Where
mean,
was it?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, I'll let Cole tee it up because he was the one that originally got the wheels moving on it.
Our team captain.
Yeah.
Well, you know they've got some new products coming out, and I think they kind of wanted to showcase that SIG cross rifle along
Gotcha.
with their optic
Yep.
system on there that kind of work together with rangefinder and scope combo. And so they kind of put together like a professional hunter team, and then invited some celebrities to
Because it's called the Hunter Games,
the
right?
Hunter Games.
Okay.
Yep, SIG Hunter Games.
Yep.
Thank you. And then they would put 2 celebrities with 1 professional hunter.
Oh, interesting. I
And
didn't
so
even know
my
that.
celebrities that I was blessed with.
Celebrity.
Celebrities.
That's
What-
a-
so what classifies a celebrity though? Like what are they utilizing as like the
It
definition
must
of a
be pretty
celebrity?
low. Like actually,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fairly
We
We set the
low.
bar here.
I mean, there were some gold
There-
medalists.
there were some actual
Olympic-
celebrities there.
Yeah, there were some
Yeah.
actual legitimate, very accomplished people. And then somehow, some way, they put some of these other guys with me that I was like, fine, you know.
Right.
well, you were.
They just so happen to be on a bear hunt with you
For,
Yeah,
three,
I
for
mean,
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah.
We have no excuse. We've been working together for we might as well say months now.
Yes.
And
Team training didn't pay off, apparently.
Well, so they all gave all these teams of 3, a professional guy plus 2 celebrities. If we're celebrities, we're like double Z list. I don't even think that's a thing. But so there are 10
Yeah.
teams.
We have to show ID.
Yeah, and everybody got a new cross rifle with the
that's
the
cool.
BDX scope.
mhm.
So rangefinder connects through Bluetooth to the scope. So
Right.
every time you're trying to get your elevation, you just are using an illuminated reticle right in the scope
Yep.
based on how far you're shooting at. It's pretty cool.
Yep. From the kilos, from the binos.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. It's a pretty interesting system for sure. Makes it pretty simple when you hit that lays and it hits your target, shows you right where to aim, throw it on there.
Yeah, the rifles are 6.5 Creed, and it's
The ones we were
actually-
shooting.
Yep, we didn't end up getting the complete price tag on it, but it's for what the whole system is super affordable. I
Okay,
think
so
it's gonna
it comes
grow.
as a system, and this is not an ad. I have to preface this.
It can come as a system.
You can buy the whole fucking thing,
Yep.
like rangefinder, scope,
cross rifle.
cross rifle, everything, one package deal. You can do
And
it
you're
that way.
talking
Yeah.
somewhere in the range of just over at MSRP, maybe in the $3,000 range for the
Shut up.
the entire
Seriously?
system. Yeah,
Yeah.
the
It's a
entire
really good
system.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
they took
I
their
like short
time.
barrel rifles. And
Yeah.
so that's why
And it
when
is.
they showed up last fall in the goat hunt and I saw these 16 or 18 inch barrel guns, I was like, oh, this is
Right.
pretty nice and collapsible
Yeah.
stocks. So,
Mhm.
and once I started to shoot one, I liked it.
Yeah, I think the 16 inch ends
Wow.
up being like 26 inches end to end when it's collapsed.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's super nice.
Yeah.
And like 7-ish pounds with the
Yeah.
scope on.
And you packed it pretty much the entire time
I did.
of the bear hunt. So what are the pros and cons of this thing as far as like packing it and things like that?
Well, okay. So in I had that weapon slung the whole time
Mhm.
for a reason. It was just in case we needed to get it out quickly.
Sure.
I would recommend, with the way that those skeletonized frames are, to
Mhm.
have it in a pack.
Mhm.
Out of the pack, you just have to manhandle a little bit more going through any sort of brush, which
Yeah,
is fine.
How was
It's
carrying
fine.
that through those alders?
Yeah, it's super fun. Nobody
Yeah.
can
Well,
hear
and
me
you
for
had a
100 yards.
suppressor on there though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's a
the
little
entire
bit longer.
foregrip
Yeah.
is all
I had a
M-lock,
suppressor
so,
on there
like,
too.
it's
You're carrying it for wolves. That's why
Yeah,
we had
yeah.
it.
We were carrying it for wolves. So it kind of needed to be out if we had to set up and move on it, but it is doable. But it is super
Sure.
nice to carry around weighing 7 pounds. I mean, it
Yeah.
didn't really feel like I was carrying a rifle.
Yeah.
Frankly.
So all these teams at the Hunter Games were they're all named.
How many teams?
There were 10 teams. The team names were decided based off various peaks in Wyoming. We were Team Bullseye, but we
had contention with that.
preemptively came up with a different team name after you guys left on the hunt, because we wanted to be special. So we came up with the Spicy Mezcalians,
Yes.
because
We
we are
are.
big fans of now hot sauce and mezcal.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You are.
And we showed up and we all had matching T-shirts on the first day.
Yeah.
Semi-matching.
Spicing. Yeah, I saw those. Those are great.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
those
I think
are-
we won first place, like with team name
Sure.
and attire, like
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. No one beat
Absolutely.
us. No one beat us at all.
No.
We had 2 days worth of shirts.
Yeah. Because
Everyone
what was
was
the other
super
shirt?
stoked.
The other shirt was one that Trevor drew that I was like, hey, we need mini Tactisquatch with dual tubes and a submachine gun riding an ostrich.
Right.
And we're going to call it Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Yes. So day 2, we had those.
Okay. And did people compliment you on your attire?
Yeah. We got a lot of like, what is that? And what the fuck is wrong with these guys?
Mhm. A lot of that.
Good.
Followed
that's,
by
that's what we
I mean,
should be
yes.
doing.
Yeah,
Right.
we're creating smiles, laughter, things, jokes for days.
You're not there to win. You're
No.
there to entertain.
Entertain.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
And so the course of fire for this thing was, it was about 8 miles of movement throughout the entire day. And you would,
just over a grand of elevation.
yep. And you'd have a half hour for movement to get to your stage. And then after you got there was either 2 or 3 targets at varying distances. And then you had, after the timer started, and they had this giant old cannon. They would
Mhm.
just shoot it straight up in the air as a signal for the course of fire to begin. And then you had 15 minutes to get all of your rounds on target. 3, 2, 1. Everybody took 3 shots on each target. So it was pretty fun to like develop our technique in this and how we would go about it. And we kind of got to this foolproof way to where Cole would lead off, and then he would just immediately move position, keep his rifle there. Trevor would come in, shoot, and then I would go.
So
Yep.
is one guy ranging for you and one guy shooting?
Yeah, you could do it any way you want, but yes. So the thing is with that system, that my set of binos is connected to my gun.
Right.
Okay, so it's connected to that gun,
Right.
and so whoever would be shooting, you make sure you had that bino set up to where, because when you laze that, it's going to put a dot up where
Yep.
you're shooting. Okay, because they're decided, 0 to 100, but there was ranges out to a little over 400 yards. But one of the cool things, like just to start this, when the cannon would go off, you couldn't go past this first flag, like a green flag, until the cannon goes off. And from that point on, you may see the red flag, but the red flag means you have to stop at that. And somewhere in between there, you're looking for these targets
Mhm.
in the woods. Okay. And they had them, some of them were pretty camoed in there because they were big squares of plywood, but they would camo them up pretty good. And then animal silhouettes with like a cutout for the steel for the vitals.
Got it.
And so you would walk to that next flag looking. So, I mean, sometimes we found them right away. Within a minute, we'd find both targets. But then there were some people that weren't finding them for 10 minutes. And at that point, if you can't even find your targets, which that happened several times for other teams.
Not us.
Not us.
No.
Guy, I believe the guy would step up and be like, okay, here's your targets. You got 5 minutes, which 5 minutes, 3 people.
It's about zero time.
It's not that much time because you have to throw down, we had a bipod, a shooting bag in your packs, and you had to make your shooting position, so it was like a real hunting scenario.
Right.
Okay. And so you have to throw down and shoot from different positions. You could just look around and ideally you could shoot both targets from the same position, but it wasn't always possible. So you'd shoot one. If you had to move very far at all, like feet, like several feet or yards, then we would shoot that target first, all 3 of us, and then move to the next position. Boom, boom, boom. All 3 of us. But if you could get
3, 2, 1, meaning you guys would have to shoot 3, 2, 1 rounds. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Every
3 rounds each.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then
3.
It's scored.
Okay.
So the max amount if you hit that first shot, it's 3 points. Hit the second shot, 2 points.
So just
Third
like with
shot, 1
hunting,
point.
there is incentive to have one
Yeah,
round.
your first
round
shot
on
is a
target.
good shot.
Okay.
So I would shoot most time first. We kind of developed the system. I'll get up there, set up. I'll shoot first, and then like the thing was if there was some wind and if I'm off, these guys are telling me, okay, adjust left by whatever. And then from that point on, we would know when these guys would get in there. Like there towards the end, it would just be once I found out all the wind holds, then it was pretty easy going from there.
Yeah.
So.
Which that was a way for them to showcase some of their equipment too. So we also had their stabilized binos on us, and you could sit there and at the longer ranges, you could watch trace and be calling wind for the shooter.
That's cool.
As the other guy. So say I'm watching trace, Logan's ranging, and Cole's shooting, which we did on that 400 yarder, right? I could sit there and go, no, it looks like it's low or it looks like it's left, come over 6 inches.
Which
make the call.
Those image stabilized binos, I had a set when I was in the Corps, and they were Leicas, and they had a button on them, and you push the button, and you're shaky, and then your image just locks in place.
Yeah.
These SIG ones have a switch, so they just hold. They just run off a single AA battery, but like it makes a huge difference when it comes to being able to see bullet trace to have those.
And they're pretty
Yeah,
light
like you could
and
actually see
compact.
them.
That's the
Right.
thing. Like a lot of the ones I've seen in the past were huge.
Yeah.
And these are very light and
They're,
small.
they're the size of like
Pretty
a
impressive.
large cell phone power bank. Like they are not large.
Yep.
And then, so what's their power?
I think they're
I think they're 10 by 42, aren't they?
Yeah, I think you're 10 by 42s.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
something of that nature.
Solid?
Yeah.
Standard?
No,
Yeah, got
they'd
it.
have to be because they look about the same as those kilos, which were the range finding binos.
Right.
But no, the guys did a really good job of setting the course up. I felt like it was realistic hunting scenarios for
It
the
was.
most part. Yeah, it was actually because they wanted to know, like, hey, how did we do? Do we set this up correctly? And Daniel did a really good job.
And they really could have. They really could have made it kind of messy just for the sake of making it more difficult or more cool. And they didn't. They did exactly that. They did a good job of setting up targets where maybe you'd see one. These are ranges that are totally within. Oh yeah, that could happen.
Well, at first when we heard like the, okay, you're only going to have ranges out to 400 or 450. We're all kind of like, geez, this is all pretty close range
chip
stuff.
shots.
Like,
Yeah, I'll chip shot.
geez. But realistically, that's hunting ranges within 450,
They are.
and they were challenging enough that
Yeah, it's like TAC, right? Like a lot of these targets, you're like they set them up so you're shooting
Behind foliage.
behind foliage, between two different trees in a pretty small window. So like even if you go and Dudley sets up a target and it's a closer target, but it's tiny.
there's
right? It's
something
same
there
thing.
that's going to be in the way potentially that you have to worry about a limb.
Yeah.
Like we had
Last stage of the day on the lion.
It was like a 150 yard shot, or
Yeah, 140 something.
I hit the first two, and then the last shot,
there was like a little limb.
it just dumped. And I was like, what in the world just happened? And it hit a tiny little branch.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Size of a finger.
And yeah, you could just see this clean little break there, but it's just exactly like tack because you'll have these little limbs or leaves in the way or branch somewhere.
Yep.
And that arrow just bing and off it goes. But I was actually surprised. I really thought the second day we'd see all foliage shot down around the targets because that's how it was at TAC. Like every tree is demolished from arrows, but everyone was shooting pretty damn good there. I mean, when you have a group of people like they invited there's a lot of Olympic medalists and just professionals and that are so anal in their field and really are very detail oriented. It doesn't take long for people to start catching on.
Yeah.
Like the first day that was a big learning curve, and the second day people started doing really, really well.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think the difference between, say, TAC and this event was you were given an area to shoot from. You were given a left and right range limit, and then a plus or minus 10 yards on either side, parallel to the range limit. So some of those targets weren't getting all that foliage and stuff shot down because I think people were finding more advantageous spots for them to shoot themselves.
Gotcha.
And we weren't shooting from all the exact, like at TAC, you walk up to the cone and you're shooting from the cone.
Right.
Yep.
Okay. And that has to do with safety and all sorts of other reasons for that. With this, you can shoot from wherever the hell you want. If you want to shoot from some
you
terrible
would see different
position, you
areas
can
like
do
in the
it.
grass where people would lay down and shoot from. So
Right.
you could walk through there and just be like, oh yeah, a lot of people have shot
It's
from
personal.
here, and here.
Gotcha.
But some people
Some of them
didn't
aren't so
always
good.
find the best.
Well,
They would-
and what we're talking about is total archery challenge. So when we're talking TAC, that's what we're referring to. So it's an event that takes place
Now.
spring and summer across the United States in different locations, and you're going out shooting bows and arrows with your buddies. It's fucking fun,
Yeah.
super fun.
Bow and arrow golf.
Well,
Yeah.
for sure. I know we're doing Big Sky,
Yep.
Montana, and then the one up in Snowbird.
And Park
Yeah,
City.
well, there's two
in
here in
July.
Utah, and
Yeah.
there's one here
There's
in
one
Big
Park City
Sky.
this year.
I'm planning on doing all three of those as well. Jocko's doing the one I think in Big Sky as well. So like Dudley, Jocko, everybody's going to be up there. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This isn't it's stumping the fact that you're going to have a ton of fucking fun,
Mhm.
and we give away a lot of RTD up there too. So
Yeah.
you can also drink a lot of
Coffee.
coffee. Yeah, free coffee. Free coffee on us.
No, the Total Archer Challenge, the Sig Hunter games, like I really love these types of
Events.
what's that?
Events.
Yes, because it's the best. It is the absolute best practice scenarios you can get into in
Right.
the off season. I mean, that was the fun thing about this event we went to, Sig Hunter Games, because like I say, it was total. I mean, it was great for practice of what's going to happen in
Dude,
real life scenario.
I saw that bear charge you. That
Oh, yeah,
that-
did you see
Super
that?
scary.
Yeah, it's super scary. Were you
Ooh.
scared? Were you
Oh,
fucking
man.
He
losing
was
it?
shivering a little.
Because that's
was
a 10
definitely
mil,
shivering.
right? So is
Yeah.
that their 10 mil?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the thing I wanted to run by you, because I instantly thought about this, which is you're the bear guide, right? You know bears. Because that looks like a pretty aggressive bear. Like he is,
Very aggressive.
mouth was open. He's coming at you. Okay.
Get you.
Head height.
You got a 10 mil. What do you think that's 16 rounds? What's in that fucking thing? Because it's double stack SIG. So we'll just call it whatever. 10 mil, 10 rounds, right? You got
Yep.
10 rounds, bear's charging you. Cole, what do you think?
Well, it's better than nothing.
Oh man.
Yeah, no,
that
I mean,
says it.
and 10 mil is, I mean, obviously it can be pretty potent, but it's definitely better than having a 9 mil. That's for sure. But, I mean, I'd rather have my 375.
It's
That's
definitely,
for
yeah.
sure.
it's definitely better than having a sharp stick.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Always
hey,
going to feel it. I mean,
Yeah.
like I say, some of the rounds that are coming out, and I know that they kind of want to save some of this from the future with SIG. It'll be a great backcountry carry gun for an embarrassed scenario for sure.
Right.
I think
They're being
it'll do a
thoughtful
pretty good
about it.
job. Yeah.
did you put that in a chest rig? Is that what you? Because were you just shooting from offhand? I can't remember.
It was just offhand.
Okay,
Offhand.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I've been thinking about that because like a backcountry carry, and I've seen so many fucking lunatics carrying their pistols in weird places. I'm like, you'll never be able to get that fucking thing. I don't even
No.
know why the fuck you're carrying it. You'll never be able to get it.
You have to have one. The best that I've found for me is to have a chest rig just underneath my bino harness.
Yeah.
To where it has to be in there good and tight
Mhm.
against you, because when you go to pull on it, you can't be yanking your whole system.
Right.
And like for me in Kodiak, if I'm archery hunting by myself, I'll carry my 10 mil just underneath like my chest rig.
Right.
And I had a bear when I was tracking a wounded deer one time. I shot with my bow, made a great shot. Anyways, I was tracking this thing, and a bear popped up right in front of me 10 yards. It was just right there.
Right.
So it does you no good to have it in your pack or have it somewhere like I don't like it on your pack either.
No,
It's got to be on you at all times.
I see that. It's like mounted really far back, and they'll have it in like a leather holster.
Well, you might as well not.
You're
You might as well not have it.
gonna fucking get
it has
that
to
thing.
be.
You might as well not
here.
have it.
It has to be right there.
Yeah.
And I am by no means like, I don't know shit about pistols. Okay. So I'm not like, my rifle is like a part of my hand. Okay. Pistol is, I'm still learning a lot about
You
it.
shot fine.
But it
like-
just seems all natural. Like when it's right there on your chest rig, it's quick.
Humble Matt is here in spirit through Cole's last statement. My rifle is part of my hands.
My rifle
you know what I
is
mean?
part of my. They
Right.
call me Humble Cole. Okay? Similar to Humble Matt. Very, very similar.
No, I agree. This because I'll be cruising around. I'll see guys out there carrying their fucking pistols, or like, they'll have like a 44 mag Super Blackhawk or some crazy ass shit, and it'll be like, cross draw. Mounted on this side. You're like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, hey, Tex, like, are you planning on getting in a fucking gunfight out here? Because you're going to have to take it off in order to do that. What I like to do and what I recommend to people, I like to carry an appendix because I don't want this thing to print. I don't want the bears to even know that I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the gig's up.
Well,
If they can see it,
they can
they'll
still
be like,
go
whoa,
for
whoa,
it.
whoa.
and you've got a lot of practice coming from the appendix.
Yeah, so I can get in there,
If they see your gun, a lot of times they'll go for your gun.
Yeah, they're going to go for your gun.
Sub-second on the draw.
bears they're super attentive. Like they're
And
always
they're fast.
squinty-eyed, and they see right where you're at. These are facts, folks.
Those are facts. So and
Bear
you
facts.
said it's
These are bear
we were talking about emotional bear attacks yesterday, right? Where a bear just scares you, or he intimidates you.
Yeah.
Where there might be a bear that just runs by you.
Yep.
But you can't classify that as a bear attack. Like,
I'm sorry, you can't.
you can't. Now, shoulder checked by a grizzly, you can kind of, that's borderline, like I got shoulder checked by a grizzly bitch.
It's
She
like
didn't want to
bear-
have anything to do with this,
It's
like,
bear bullying.
Yeah, it was a
that's
bully.
bear bullying, right?
Yep.
I like to think about bear extortion, where the bear comes into camp, sits down in a chair, lights up a big cigar, maybe takes the drink out of your hand. And is like, listen, I would hate to see things go sideways here in camp. This is a dangerous place out here, fellas.
I'll
Like,
be eating your
Bear
food.
blackmail.
I can't control everything that goes on out here, but if there's some type of an insurance policy, maybe like I
Call
can
'em
get
up.
in that honey pot and, eat some
Leave
of
a
that
little
shit.
of that salami out there.
Right? Maybe one of those salamis is just enough to put you guys into what we call security mode, bear
Right.
I
extortion.
won't mess with you. I won't
Yeah.
mess with your meat cache.
Yeah.
Just leave me
Right?
some food and maybe a picnic basket.
No, nothing's going to happen, you guys, as long as, you pay your insurance. Something like that, bear extortion.
Mm-hmm.
But that emotional bear attack, that's just more of a bear sighting.
Right.
Like I saw one really close and it was running
If that was
by
the
me.
case, I've had several bear attacks over the years.
Right.
I mean, I've had some very, very close that it was very emotional
Mhm.
at times for the hunters. And so if guys want to call that an attack, that's fine.
Right.
So anyway, but
Everybody's left and right limits are different.
You too. What ended up happening with when you were on the wounded deer?
what's that?
When you were on the wounded deer?
Oh yeah. When the bear came up in front of me.
Was that
I
emotional?
pulled the pistol.
Was it emotional?
It was very emotional. I mean, I didn't really think about it at first. It was all just,
Right.
once again, humble Cole coming out.
Yeah.
It was all this like part
I
of
went
like,
into
fluid, just-
instinct.
Yeah. And was going to shoot from the hip.
Right. Of course.
The bear actually, I feel like at that point, he got emotional.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
he
I
was
can
like,
see that.
whoa, man, I'm just
Right.
out here just walking
Being a bear.
around.
Just doing bear shit.
Hey, get back.
Yeah.
Get back, bear.
And he went on his way. We were fine after that.
I love how also with guides, like there's almost this like SOP that if you are worried about a bear getting close, you go, hey bear,
Hey, bear.
hey bear. I'm like, does that work?
Yeah.
Just
Well, you
And the
just
bears
gotta
know.
let him know you're there. A little bit of hey, buddy, I'm here. Just step
Right.
back.
does that work?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes.
Just give them like a
You
greeting,
let him know.
like a little
Yep,
informal
nice little-
greeting.
Yep. Always got to let them know
Hey,
you're there. Always good to let them know you're there. Just like
Right.
wearing bear bells sometimes. It's really a nice
Bear
little
bells.
jingle in the woods.
Yeah.
I've
Oh,
had a
okay.
lot of folks in Kodiak, you go walking by a little bear bells on.
Yep.
So, or their music playing in the
Dinner
background.
bells.
I've seen a lot of guys wear bear ball gags. Those are not a preferred thing,
BDSM
you know,
there.
like it's,
Don't even know.
Alrighty.
right. I'm just assuming based on internet searches, that's what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know
Most
if they're
likely.
trying to let people know or let bears know, but it just seems like that. I don't know.
They just want bear hugs.
Right. Bear hugs.
Yeah. People just love our conversation.
So
About
here's
bullshit.
here's a funny thing about Cole, right? So after 10 days of close proximity, I mean, with Cole, is that Cole gets really serious when things are getting ready to happen.
Yeah, I call that guider mode.
Yeah. He's like he get like the switches on the dashboard, all of them are up. You know what I mean? Like,
I get in the
like there's
zone,
there's
you know?
no
I get a
there's
little bit
like
of-
you're not leaving one
no,
down.
no.
You're just going
He hits,
power up, motherfuckers.
that
It's
little-
time to move.
he
you
hits
know?
that bar that gets them all.
Yeah. We're
Wham!
lights are on.
It-
fucking
rock and roll.
everything.
I would call
Yeah.
that kill mode. It's just kinda like,
Kill
don't
mode.
ask me questions. Don't say a damn word. Just shut up and follow me.
His word's a little more serious.
But I like how we were out there and he managed to take out the majority of his aggressive type A nature on Matt. And he would be like, get your shit, let's go. And Matt's like, got his backpack. Like everything's like, I have it. It's
here.
on me. I'm carrying my rifle like right here. Matt, get your shit, let's go. And
No,
he's like,
put it on. It is on.
it is on. I have
Yeah.
my backpack and my rifle. It's
He
right
did
here.
the same
It's
thing
okay.
to me the other day. Like it was the last stage of the day of the whole entire event, and he's down in the prone, and we're
yes.
getting to target 2. Like he needs a little bit more of it. He's like, get a pack, get a pack, get a pack,
Get back. Get back.
I'm like moving towards.
I was like,
why is he so mad? Like
That was a little aggressive. I was like, bag. I need a bag. Of course, you got Ear Pro in.
Right.
Wait,
And
wait.
I don't hear
Then
anyone
the bag
moving.
shows up and he's like, no, just this one. I want that bag.
Big bag. Not
And I,
that
just,
bag.
I was like, Cole, I'm here. Would you fucking relax, please? Oh my.
That was
goodness.
The cat's not going anywhere.
Oh,
Hey, puppy.
Where'd she go?
we
Right
got
there. Come
the
here.
little wire hair
Get her.
just showed up.
This is
But-
Mrs. Dictator Geisha.
And our viewership just
or Miss
exploded.
Dictator
Yes.
Geisha. Like, ow. Yeah, she's my new
Wow.
German wire hair pointer. The Dictator Geisha is obviously the coffee. My favorite coffee.
I see
Like,
she
get
likes
me
to be
down.
in the podcast.
Yeah, so she's brand new to this the whole clan. My kids are
Nope, she's gonna eat the
Very in
electrical.
love with her.
That's good for
Let's
her.
hold that cord.
hey, that's good though.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
so we had a little puppy intermission.
That was
So-
really sweet.
Cole likes to hit all the switches
At once.
at once. And if he's hunting with Matt, typically Matt becomes his focus for some reason, which is super fun to watch.
I love going on hunting trips with a bunch of alpha males.
I
Just
know.
for these reasons alone.
Which is
The
only-
tertiary
Which really is
conversations
just
makes it
because
happen.
like
Wonderful.
cousin Will and myself have learned to just like be off to the side. Oh, let Cole go over there. Yep, I'm gonna
Okay,
be over
okay.
here doing my thing.
Yeah.
And it's also you also do this other thing when you like to whisper, which is why I started not having one ear pro in and would sacrifice my hearing because you always shoot that,
Shoot that
and then
bear.
you would point.
Yeah, shoot that bear. As from behind us. Pointing from behind everyone.
Guys, I
Guys,
just don't. I
shoot
don't-
that bear.
Okay, we have 2 different versions of me. In my mind, all I say is shoot that now, right here.
Yeah.
I'm so pinpointed. I use the correct words.
Yeah.
Everything is on point.
And
I
if
think
you're
hearing
hunting,
a different person, like
It-
I am on point to my own
if you're
brain,
hunting by
okay?
yourself, that works. That's an internal dialogue.
Mhm,
You
mhm.
can be like, shoot
I've
that
actually
bear.
won best award for guiding, of like being able
For
to direct
yourself?
people in the right direction for like where
Is
the
that a
animal is.
self-appointed award?
I don't know where it
from
came
yourself?
from, but
It just
I've
showed
gotten
up.
awards multiple years in a row. Okay, for being the best guider out there.
Guider.
Three-time
I like
guider
that.
world
At
champion.
the event we were just at, someone said guider over the microphone, so I'm like a guider now.
I like
So,
that.
yeah.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start referring to people as guiders. Yeah.
mhm.
You got a lot of nicknames: Skittles, Guider,
Whole creamer.
Cole.
Anyway, yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Thanks.
You're a character, you know. I mean, you're a character. That mustache
And,
says it
People
all.
have
And a
to
good
have,
shooter.
like stories about their guides. that they go on hunts with. If he just does everything like perfectly, there's really no story there. You've got to have a character. And I've tried to do my best. If I'm doing things way too smoothly, then I back it off a bit.
Right.
And because I need you guys to have something to talk about.
That's what the trench coat is for. Really.
That's right.
The duster. The
duster.
duster.
The camo duster.
Which Trevor and I just grabbed one of those.
How? I thought they didn't make them anymore.
They don't.
They don't.
Euro
You got one
Optic,
from
I think.
Barklow?
Nope.
I think
No,
Euro Optic still
Euro Optic
Euro
had
what?
some.
the Kodiak jacket. Euro Optic still has those, I believe.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
what was that? Sorry, I know you just said. What was the website you ended up getting those from?
Euro Optic.
Euro Optic.
Yeah.
And that's like a gear inventory
yeah.
specialized.
They just have a bunch
area.
of stuff.
Mhm.
And
So-
we're gonna turn on Gears or Hole here is gonna start doing some gear reviews
Ooh.
for
Yeah.
FRA as well.
As a guy that loves gear, that doesn't have doesn't get to use it very often, but I do love it. Like I'm a fucking gearhead, as people can probably attest. I like to think that I'm a minimalist, as we all can
Yeah,
see
you
as of
live a
yesterday.
very strong minimalist lifestyle.
Right.
I was in your garage last night, and there's like 4 Team Wendy helmets, just 338 ammo scattered all over the place. It's impressive.
The children need NVGs.
And custom fit helmets.
If things go pear-shaped in this Looney Tune city where they're talking about, defunding the police or all kinds of these weird ass fucking initiatives, I like to think of me and my children moving as a fire team.
That's what I was hoping this was going.
With NVGs as we start to do kind of an escape from
Ooh,
the
I like
city
that.
routine.
Yeah.
Because the last thing I need, and this is I'm putting myself into these situations, right? And I've had my kids cruising around working with their NVGs, at the ranch and a few of these other places.
Dry fire drills.
And if they're in the dark and they can't see, they ask more questions. But if they can see, I can be like, shut the fuck up, be quiet.
Right.
And now they can see, they can look around. But they just have to be comfortable, like, looking through green or white or whatever it is.
Who do you think is carries the squad automatic weapon in that fire team?
Me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't trust a 4-year-old with a belt fed just
I
yet.
guess
But
that's true.
Come on.
her arm,
That's
her
a
arm
lot of
strength
recoil
is
for
so
them.
weak, and
It's a lot of
like,
recoil.
but she could carry like a squirt gun in that scenario filled with mace or something. But I like
Nerf
to
gun with
think,
pointy
I like
ends.
like you prepare for the worst, you hope for the best, right? You got to have the equipment or in a time, and this has been proven throughout the last year and a half, is that if you don't have things when things go really fucking weird, you can't get them either because everybody wants that shit at the same time. So I made a very, very specific investment in the family night vision capability just based on what I felt was emergency procedures need to be kind of not only SOP, but you have to have that ability. You have to have the ability.
It's true.
Everybody's not going to be able to like go and say, hey, I've got NVGs. But the good thing about this company is we know a lot of people that can give us really steep discounts on incredible gear. So I will say that is like, the FLIR and the NVGs and everything else that goes along with this, I think it is also a necessity that your 7-year-old should understand how to use all that as well. But that's just me. That's how I live my life.
When
man.
stuff
There's no
goes pear
judgment
shaped,
here. Like,
you do need. I mean, we had a phone call when everything went weird last year, and we kind of laughed on the phone. Do you have your yes? Okay, cool. So we're each other's QRF. Okay, I got it. Call me if something happens.
Oh, Trevor had a bunch of gear, like already ready to go. Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
surprise. We already had go bags with suppressors and 300 blackout and MVGs everywhere. That's weird. Like, my wife was like,
QRF up the hill.
I remember this so specifically. Like, we're flying back from Guatemala and my wife's like, fucking, her head is like imploding with like COVID, blah, 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 right? And I'm like, it's not a big deal. She's like, what do you mean it's not a big deal? It's not a big deal. Relax. I am geared for this. This is what I've been like training my entire life for this. Like, it's going to be okay. I'm like, go to the store because everybody else is like doing toilet paper and all these like stupid things. I'm like,
shit.
go to the store and make sure that we have like aspirin, antihistamines, and all the fucking medications that we need. And because we already had kind of a, rice and a bunch of this other stuff. So I'm like, go and make sure that we have like a really fully stocked medicine cabinet. Those are the things like tampons and fucking aspirin and like Band-Aids and all that other shit. Like that's the stuff that you're going to need.
See, that's,
you're not going to need toilet paper. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't need toilet paper. Like you get stacks of old shirts.
Oh yeah.
See, that's kind of what I just opened up my med kit and I'm like, all right, is anything expiring? I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll button this one back up and we'll be okay.
And you would think after you rescued her from a flash flood in Colorado, she'd be like, oh yeah, this guy's got it. So set to jet.
That's not how that works.
Well,
set to jet.
Well, and I think people, and there's like way better. Like I was so happy when Mike Glover moved here because I was like, oh my God, thank God Mike's here. Because these are perishable skills, right? It's not like it's like
anything else.
Yeah, it's like anything else. So when Mike moved here, I was like, oh man, we're great because he's in Heber. We've got Jack is in, that same area. We've got all of us down here. It just makes things more. One, it makes them more fun, and two, we're fairly connected communication wise all the time. And it's like I was talking to Trevor, I was talking to you, I was talking to Matt, I was talking to Tim Kennedy, and Tim Kennedy's, here's my sat phone number, here's my updated this, here's that. Like,
yeah. I think I threw you a radio freak for a ham radio.
Like, hey, here's the thing, like do this and do that, and Tim and I were texting and I was like, man, I got a good group of friends. These people are fucking awesome. Like they're ready to go.
Yeah.
Like they're ready to go. And you lived in Kodiak. I mean, nothing's going to fucking happen in Kodiak.
No, I mean, like when this all happened, I think I went to like this store a time or two and just had just some other side items because I had a freezer full of meat, of course.
Right.
But I mean, it was just kind of like a joke because I looked and I've got all this freeze-dried meals, all the camping stuff, anything that would go
Cole's
wrong.
literally set up for the apocalypse.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
by accident.
You guys have the more militant side of things of what really how you need to handle things. But like me, of just, okay, if things shit hits the fan and I got to go live in the woods for a while, well, no problem.
Cole's ready to button up. We're ready to move.
Like, oh, wow, power grid's down.
Whoa, no.
Oh, okay.
I'll fold out this
shit.
These
okay.
dozen
no deal. I don't
goal
have power
zero
anyways.
Solar panels.
Yeah.
And
don't have power at all ever at camp. So it's interesting what people, are just not used to at all. And the more you put yourself just out there away from all these lovely necessities of life. I mean, just being out there at bear camp, right? We're out there, you were there for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, you just get so used to functioning on little to nothing.
Not needing.
Yeah. You don't need shit.
Yep.
But we had a lot.
We had a lot. You're 100% correct. But in terms of like what people are used to having.
True. Okay.
It's in a camp scenario, we had a lot.
Right.
But in terms of like comparing to home, we had minimal the things just that we needed.
Right.
To survive, comfortably. Especially when we got more shipments of coffee and other items brought in. So
this is a random question. Then would you classify yourself as a survivalist? Not really.
I mean, when you watch those shows like Alone, those guys are, I guess, survivalists, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Me, I do not. I don't want any part of that. But if I go like a couple hours without a meal or food, I'm dying.
You don't like
but
that.
They would be like, this guy Cole is useless. He's going to be out there forever. And like by the end of the day, I'm like, I'm getting a little hungry.
I was watching Alone, and my wife, she does not entertain my stupidity most of the time. She has like zero tolerance for it. But I started laughing the other night. We were watching Alone. I just started fucking laughing hysterically because I was like, it would be awesome to get somebody on that show, and all they do is go out there, set up the cameras, don't build a shelter or anything, but all they do is they just masturbate like 3 times a day on camera. They're just like throwing down, and then they're like, they just call, okay, I'm out of here. And then they pull all the footage, and it's just like, all this person did was just like
It's
whack
been a
off
week.
in the woods for 2 weeks. Didn't go hunting. Didn't go upstairs. Just like sadness.
Wait until he got tired of it. I'm glad that's what you think about it. But I mean, like, I was thinking about other things, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. Yeah, it's interesting.
Like, we could not use contestant number 7's entire video footage.
It was all corrupted.
It appears he literally just set up his sleeping bag exactly where the helicopter left him and a camera. And that's all he did, folks. We can't really get into the rest of it. It was super interesting to see all his video.
Anyways, on the market, Camp 4.
First time we've never been able to use this contestant's footage. This
was
is unbelievable.
We can't even show his face.
Classified as pornography, and really,
There are
we can't
statutes.
use any of it. Yeah, like that would be fucking hilarious.
Well, maybe we just make Trevor the sacrificial lamb on this because they already hit him up. So, hey, if you want to move up, hey, sorry, you're going to have to take one for the team and accomplish the alone task.
Sorry, buddy. All of a sudden, it's naked and afraid and fun.
yeah.
Just naked and fun.
Oh wait, I think he's building a shelter. He's whittling something. Oh no.
It's not whittling.
Oh no.
Surprise, folks.
After a week, it looks like we're actually going to get some. No, what is he whittling? That's not even for fire. Jeez, God, it's not okay.
Guys, this is how it was every day of the bear hunt. I got a lot of laughs in being with you guys.
We spent a little time together.
The creativity of this company is just, it just flowed out of the master. That's for sure. You know, it was just every day.
It
was a good time.
Day.
We had a lot of fun.
We had a blast. I had a blast. I mean,
And it
Logan was
was,
out there for
15 days.
15 days. So you guys got the extra. You guys got the extra. You got a little Jack Shack of your own. You get to go by yourself in that tent for a few days. I would hate to have been your dick after you left. That thing would have, I'm sure you that thing owed you money by the time we left.
A little bit.
Man, I'm going to go and burn that cot down.
Yeah, we burnt that one. No, it's fun. And it was fun at the Hunter Games too. The three of us, like, having spent all the time up in Alaska.
We were in separate tents.
It
at the
was,
Hunter Games.
yeah, we were in separate
just
tents.
so everyone knows.
That's not true. So we all got individual tents that they provided. And they were one-man tents. We only slept in one of those.
We actually had our shoes in one and bags in the other.
Yeah, we had two gear tents.
It's gear tents.
Yeah.
Put your cots together.
No cot. It was a 2-man tent, but it's really a 3-person.
It's really
tent.
weird when all the sick people kept coming out. Like, you guys have your own tents. Okay, we know.
We know. We got it.
We understand.
Yeah.
We're being efficient.
Yeah.
HR came down after a while and was like,
Right.
man, let's see here.
Yeah, I think that's cool, man. I would love to participate in some of those or one of these days. If I got an invite, then that'd be cool.
They had been planning. So they've been planning.
Did you go to sushi last night, Trev?
Yes.
Oh, you did. Oh.
Yes.
Everyone was
so you
there.
got an invite. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I did.
Everyone was
Nice.
there, Evan.
Actually, I got an invite from
Everybody.
Cole about 38 seconds before I walked up the stairs.
Yeah, when we saw him walking in, we were like, ooh, maybe him and our litter are just coming to this randomly. We better invite him.
Yeah.
Did you know with Black Rifle Coffee's Coffee Club subscription, you can get fresh coffee shipped to you every month? What? You don't even have to go to the store. Whoa. You don't even have to leave your bed.
What? Wow. How did you get in here? You might want to go ahead and join the Black Rifle Coffee Club subscription before one of these guys shows up at your place.
Oh, crap.
We,
No, Logan
here he
got
is.
me.
Oh, he did.
Even Clancy showed up.
Oh,
Yeah, everyone
old
did.
fancy,
Actually, there was-
fancy
Oh, Fancy
Clancy.
Pants.
That's great,
He was there.
man.
Honestly.
That guy just makes everybody happy. He really does.
Dude, he and I started getting on a weird rabbit hole last night because he's up in
No.
northern Idaho now.
Just
And
left this morning.
Yes, he did.
he was talking about all the people that are moving out to Idaho, and talking to anybody, Idaho, Montana, like they're just getting an influx. Like people are paying $40,000, $50,000.
So states are full, don't go.
Over asking price on houses. And he was like, it seems like their risk tolerance is much higher. And then we got on this weird rabbit hole to where there's this disease that comes from cat poop that makes you way more risk tolerant and you make all sorts of crazy decisions. He's like, yeah, a lot of these motorcycle accidents that actually happen come from, they test these people's blood and whatnot. And they have this disease that comes from cat poop that makes you make dumb, stupid decisions that'll probably get you hurt.
Well, if they own cats, they've already made a poor choice. So I understand where this comes from.
It is, what's the name of it? Because I read about this in Scientific American. What? Yeah, I read it in Scientific American.
Yes.
Thank you, boss.
And I was like, oh, that's so interesting because so many people, I'm sure in California, probably own cats.
Oh, of course. All of them.
Vegan
cats.
Been locked up in the same building.
Yeah.
For over a year.
Spreading their silliness.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all of California is probably just infected with this.
No
and
wonder I
all this
sneeze
crazy
all the
shit.
time by them sons of bitches.
It's a weird thing to have an animal in your home that shits
inside
in a dirt box that you put in your house for it, and you're just cool with it. It's like, oh, old Katz McGillicuddy over there is taking a big old sloppy shit, and you're in your living room.
We'll just leave it in here.
Let's just leave it in here. We got our scooper, and we're gonna get this thing done. The length of which people go for
until they
animal companionship.
Yeah.
Not just that, but how often have you heard a dog person have to defend having a dog in the house? Almost never. Cat people literally are having to defend themselves. No. It's cool. It loves me.
Yeah.
It has to be in the house. I really want.
Right.
I've never heard somebody that has a dog. It's like, I really just need the dog in the house. No.
Yeah.
No.
Because everybody loves dogs.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with like farm cats. I think farm cats are cool as shit.
Cats are an outdoor animal.
Yeah.
That lives outside. It shits outside. It eats outside.
Bringing you birds to the front door.
It has a natural hunting instinct. Like cats are cool as shit. Like I have no problem with them. I just think it's weird.
Doesn't need to be shitting in the house.
When people live with them inside their homes.
I would train my cat. If I had a cat, I would train my cat to go to the door. You take it outside, takes a piss and shit, maybe catches a bird or two, brings it in as a snack.
Right.
And it's good. I'd have a kitty door.
People argue cats are smart. Door. If it's so smart, you should be able to train it to shit outside.
Right.
My dog goes and sits by the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty much a cat expert now.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you are a bear guide. You're a bear guider.
Bear guide. He's a predator.
According to the CDC, over 40 million people in the United States are infected with this.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
10% of the population.
Yes.
That's insane.
That we know of.
Did you guys grow up with cats in the house?
No. Dogs.
No cats.
No cats.
I had a Dalmatian that was outside that would attack frequently.
You had an attack Dalmatian.
Like I had an attacked Dalmatian.
Right.
That's how the bear guiding got started.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd probably invoked that we wrestled all the time. I just, wanted to wrestle the dog.
Was it an attack or an emotional attack?
Oh, no. He would bite me. I had scars on my hands still from Barkley. Barkley was my dog. Yeah.
Sounds like you guys had a beautiful relationship.
Well, it was awesome. We just loved to wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. And anyone that go in the backyard, old Barkley, he was ready. He's like, aha! Yeah, it was perfect. So, I mean, Dad's the fire chief. You got to have a Dalmatian.
True.
Ooh, that's right.
And they're a bit aggressive. So,
they really are.
You got to bring back the Dalmatians.
It's a weird animal for firefighters.
It is.
Let's get something that attacks people.
What was the reasoning behind that?
Do you know? Who knows? I don't know why the old Dalmatian.
There's got to be some reason why Dalmatians are attached to firefighters.
Let's hunt this down.
Figure it out.
Maybe. Does there have to be? I don't know. Like maybe they could smell fire.
I can smell fire.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Balls, what do you got? You're looking this up, I'm sure.
It's never
work faster.
Crossed my mind to want a Dalmatian, so I've never really thought about them in any way, shape, or form. I guess like the dogs that I like are typically working dogs in the capacity of like they're bird dogs. I like bird dogs, obviously.
Birders.
Yeah, I like the bird dogs. The Newfoundland. I used to want a Newfoundland for a long time, like one of those big, fucking monstrous, like hairy, slobbery beasts. But then I realized that I live in these really hot places, and that would be miserable for them. Now, if I lived somewhere cold, it'd be like, yeah, let's get a big fucking burly, slobbery Saint Bernard type dog, right?
Yeah.
But not in Utah. I mean, it's literally like 100 degrees every day now, starting in June. It's been hotter here than in Texas.
Yeah, it's
which
insane.
is fucking nuts. It's nuts here. So I can't wait to go
somewhere
north. Yeah, I can't wait to go north because.
And you guys are headed today, tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm headed up to northern Idaho for a little trip. I'm building a coffee shop up there. So we're getting ready to close on a building in my hometown for the coffee shop. We're going to go do some recon as far as how we want to put those in and who's doing what. So Mike Clancy's up there now. And I think Edwin's coming up a little later. So we're all getting together and we're going to put this thing together. And that's actually where the bear is going. So it's going in Lewiston. And with the other thing. Yeah. So I guess cat's out of the bag. We did kill a bear.
Oh, we'll save that. We'll save that.
We'll save that.
We'll save it for later. Little sneak peek. I do have an announcement that I want to make now.
Pregnant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
Butt babies. Which we can finally bring up now because it's official. We're going to be doing a collaborative content project with HOONIGAN coming up soon.
HOONIGAN.
We're going to have our own version of BRCC Gymkhana.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you've seen the series of Gymkhana. They are immensely popular. The last one we did, we stepped in on and got the ball rolling on stuff was Gymkhana 2020. That one was with Travis Pastrana. And it's going to be a little bit different for us as, we typically step outside of the box, but it's going to be a chase sequence. And we just did a location scout on that. We're looking at potentially doing it down near Boerne, Texas. So probably looking at a Veterans Day drop on that.
That's going to be wild. It's going to be fucking incredible.
Wild.
Like, as we know, I mean, Ken's been awesome. Ken Block's been awesome like the last couple of years. Mike used to work for Ken. He worked for Black Rifle for about a year. We're still really good friends. So the HOONIGAN, Ken Block, Black Rifle Coffee, they're right up the road, or at least Ken has been for the last several years. So much respect for what they do in content. Like, they make this stuff look so fun and so cool, and they make it look like so easy, and it's not. It's just not.
Because I remember when we were in the first office, it was when Gymkhana 7 dropped, which is the one in LA. And I remember you and me were there at like 10:30 at night, and we watched that thing like 5 times in a row. I was like, this is one of the greatest pieces of content that's ever been created.
Yeah. It's so entertaining and so visually stimulating. It's my favorite one that they've released still to this day. It's my favorite.
Well, I think it's just such a good talking point because it's like we had the idea of doing a collaborative project with them at that point was such a giant pipe dream.
Yeah.
And to be able to be at this point now to where we're actually going to collaboratively generate a rad piece of content with these guys.
It's happening.
It's literally like the sky is only what you say it is. So like you are literally capable of accomplishing anything. And I think that's fucking really awesome.
Oh yeah.
That's why I love it here. It's because we can just use our brains to create stuff. And then it's like self-fulfilling prophecies in a good way.
Yeah. It's the execution, right? So it's thinking about things and then being able to curate a plan, execute against sequence, and then bringing that plan to fruition. We did it with the helicopter. So when you jump the helicopter, you have to put these things on the board. You have to put these aspirational things on the board that are the big, hairy, audacious goals or whatever it might be. And then you pursue them. But a lot of people, I think what they do is they're like, that's so big, I'll never be able to do it. But it's just fundamentally false.
Yeah.
It's just they they're not looking at it like a mountain that needs to be climbed where you're just like putting one foot in front of the other. They're not looking at it as like a planning sequence, an opportunity to kind of build an entire apparatus around trying to figure it out. And they don't want to fucking work on something for years to try to get it done. They don't have the patience for it. I see that all the time. Like, people don't want to put the work in on years of developing a skill, right? They don't want to do that. They want to take the pill and get it done.
Yeah,
like,
it's just steps to go do that thing. A good example of it, and that's why talking about this is such a good thing. We went and hung out with Gage over at Daisy May Hat Co.
Yeah.
And he literally said he started writing down the names of the people that he wanted to make hats for because he heard you on a podcast. And we were touring his shop, and he's got his whole entire list of everybody who he's making hats for. And then he's got his like big master wish list, and he had like Justin Bieber on there. And and it was Rogan. And then one of the other names was Dudley. And I was like, oh, that's super rad. That's super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Dudley FaceTimes me from TAC like 10 minutes later.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, oh, hey, this guy wants to look at this. He's got your name on here. He wants to make you a hat. And they linked up like the next day. And Dudley's going to go out there and make a hat.
That's so fucking
really cool.
And literally, it's just so simple. It's just write down your goals and like start taking the steps to pursue them. And God knows what can happen.
I would probably look slightly more legit in the woods with one of those hats, like hiking around.
Yeah.
I mean,
you look like Fred Bear.
Yeah.
But
Cole Kramer.
I mean, I need to,
Bear
as
guy.
I get older
Bear
and
guy.
more gray, I think it would just kind of round me out a little more to have like something
cool.
little different lid. Maybe.
Yeah.
Who did you aspire to when you were coming up? And I know you wanted to be a bear guide from a young age, but who are you looking at as kind of
Well, I mean, you're looking at some of the older mentors, right? I don't look at any like, oh my gosh, like someone like in the social light of things, or on the limelight of things. It's always been like, okay, who runs a good business? Who is a great, ethical outfitter? And I've looked at a lot of these old timers who have been around forever and started with nothing. And, like with Paul Sherman, that guy I worked with, or Dick Rohr, some of these other guys that like from a very young age going up to Alaska, like talking with them and just, and them giving you the step by step of how it needs to be done. And I remember the first time that they told me, what needs to be done. It was just kind of like very daunting. Like, oh my gosh, wait, this is way more of a process than I thought. While he's telling me, hey, you're gonna have to go through being a packer, and that takes a couple seasons. Then you're gonna be an assistant guide for 3 years before you can become before you can even take your test, to become a guide. And so it's like, wow. And so while that took me 5 years to become a registered guide, and which is the quickest you can legally do that sort of thing, and it to some people, I mean, like my buddies were graduating college, somewhere around, they're 4-year or going in for, extended. And so it was pretty cool for when I got my license. That was like my biggest accomplishment that I had ever gotten.
Right.
I didn't go to college or anything. And so it was, and then when I get guys who reach out to me now, oh man, I want to do what you're doing, man. I want to do that, and it's like, well, what part of it do you want to do? Because I didn't know about any of this kind of stuff when I first started this. This is 20 years into me being a guide now, right? And so like what Trevor's going through, like as an apprentice right now, and like right now he's on the verge of being able to like send in the paperwork for assistant guide license. He's been coming up now with me this is the 3rd season.
Mm-hmm. Third season.
But, it just takes time, and that's what you got to invest that time into stuff. And I don't know, like your original question, just the old school mentor guys who have been around for a long time. That's who I've always aspired to be, like just someone who runs a good operation and makes it look easy,
Well, I think it's just, I asked because I think it's such a good potential track for a lot of veterans.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of vets who are like kind of looking at the current scope of things with how things happen within our society, just going to school, like there's so many other alternative things that you can be doing. And like your lifestyle is awesome. Like you get in almost this deployment type cadence to where you, for an extended period of time, are going into the field and then you're coming back and then you're pursuing other things. I think a lot of veterans would be adept at being really good guides.
Yeah.
And like, it's such a
100%.
good track to do.
Yeah.
And it's a fun lifestyle. Like the things that you become involved in as a byproduct of pursuing that are super fun. For example, like when you just called us up earlier this year, like, hey, I got an opportunity to go Aoudad hunt. And like the people we got linked up with out there, like, there's just awesome humans with super unique stories and the stuff that you get involved in. Like, it's those moments I'm like, it's almost this like kind of Hemingway existence where you're following this breadcrumb trail across life.
Well, and that's the thing is I've shaped my life into things that I just want to do. I get sick and tired of watching guys who are just hating life, you know, and it's like anyone I talk to, like, man, I wish I could do it. Like, you can, you just have to invest the time into doing it. Not everyone can, you know, there's people that have families and later on in life, they're like, oh, I can't be gone that long. You know, oh, I can't just be away like that, you know, and it's like, well, that's fine. You know, but that's kind of what you got to do if you want to be a guide. You're going to have, now you may not have to go to Alaska to be a guide. You know, there's elk guides, there's deer guides, but
I mean, you can guide fishing.
Woods,
like there's a lot of options out there.
But being out there and just enjoying the fresh air, being in the mountains and hopefully around good people, you know, that's the thing is I enjoy that one-on-one time. Like your guys' group on the hunt, meaning 7 people, that's a lot of people on a hunt with me, you know? And some people assume that we're in a lodge situation or like around a lot of people at a lot of times, but it's a lot of one-on-one time with me. And so my time I get to spend with someone and get to know them, like what makes them tick throughout life. And when you leave, you have this relationship with them for a very long time. And it's cool because I get to show up to these guys' place of work. Sometimes I'm running through town visiting, you know, maybe someone who runs their own coffee shop, company or something like that. I don't know. Anyways, but you're very busy. There's like real life things you're going through, and I get to kind of like peek into your life. And then, but I like it when I show up and these guys look at me like, oh yeah, we had a damn good time a year, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. And we sit down, we have a drink, we recap. And my job is to hopefully get guys to de-stressitize a little bit, to, you know, come out and just forget everything, you know? And that's what I love, is taking people out and doing that. And I think the veteran community, there's something great there for them to get out there, enjoy the wilderness, be around interesting people who will for sure appreciate their sacrifice and what they've done throughout their course of their employment. And it's a great thing. I love getting guys out there. It's a great therapy. You know, I don't know. Yeah. It's just it's just a great way of life for me, not for everyone. Because I get plenty of guys that show up there who maybe think they want to come and do it. And, you know, I don't blame them when they're like, it's not for me, but it's fun to come out maybe once or twice a year. Yeah, right. You know? It's definitely not for everyone.
Well, boys, solid session.
Yes. Great. Trevor, Whole Creamer, Skittles, Logan, Free Range American. Thanks a lot, guys.